Rainbow Six Extraction is here, and I think it's a good question to ask. Is it worth it? Is it worth the money or being on the Game Pass? Rainbow Six Extraction, since it's been out, I have not been able to put the game down just because of how much fun I've had and the stress moments it has. Before we go any further, I'm going to reiterate that this game is difficult. This is not a simple game you can run and gun, because there's a lot of foobar moments where situations can get bad. So, some people may see this as a bad thing. I love it because of that challenge. Let's start with the operators. There's 18 operators with each 10 levels, like T'Chaka can get 2 machine guns at his 10th level, which is hilarious. Next is the progression system. The progression system's your kind of like overall level. There's a total of 30, 25 is like technically the last one, then the last 5 are bonus ones. These give you access to more lore and tech points, which will be used for the gadgets I'm about to tell you about. Now, here's your tech gadgets. With your operators having different abilities, these can change up how that operator might specialize in different areas, from paralysis grenades to flashbangs to even drones to help you out. There is 4 different areas, being Truth or Consequences Mexico or New York City, but each of these areas have 3 levels, which have 3 subsections, making it a total of 36 areas that you can explore in this game. There's 4 difficulties, but the difficulties we shouldn't talk about. However, the objectives are important. There's mutations and then your objectives. In this one we have nest tracking, which is why the reason I selected Pulse. Pulse's ability to detect nests make this mission objective very easy, which is same with all the other operators. Certain operators will be better at certain jobs, so keep in mind which operator you're selecting. In order to level up an operator though, you must play them, so that's something to keep in mind. Now let's talk a little bit closely about objectives. I believe there is a total of about 13 objectives that can rearrange in any areas along with the mission mutation. The higher difficulty you go, you'll have a higher chance of mutation. Mutations can change up what exactly you're going to be fighting. Sprawl Overflow, for example, with the Pulse, is when the Arcanes walk around, they leave a puddle of sprawl, which is the stuff that spreads around, and acts kind of as a form of environment for them. In this sledge clip, this is Biopsy Takedown, which you must try to sneak up on an enemy, but I decided to use my flashbangs to make it so it's a little bit easier. This is one of the things that would make me argue that these little side gadgets might be even more important than your operator's main ability. Now, again, going back to those objectives, one thing I should say is that one of the coolest things in this game to me that I love is that the objectives are oriented around how many players you have. For example, Biopsy Target Takedown, if you have only 1 player, it'll only be 1. If you have 3 players, you'll have 3, etc. Now let's talk enemies. Enemies are very well done in this game. The diversity of enemies seems a bit small, but when looking at it closer, it's kind of scary what combinations of enemies you have. You have the small grunts, which they hit you once or twice, you're going to lose the majority of your health. Or you have the apexes, which will try to kind of run away from the fight to summon more enemies. Then you have the big smashers, which are literally just brute force. Oh yeah, operators can go MIA, which means you'll have to go back in the same area and rescue them. Kind of scary idea. Now, I kind of like this system. Some people may say this system is bad, but it means that you must play a diverse set of operators, because when an operator takes damage, they need time to recuperate. So it allows your operators to kind of level up fairly evenly. Even though my last operator level up to level 10 was T'Chaka. But as always, this game is fun with friends. I really highly recommend playing this game if you have a couple friends to play it with. And for me, I enjoy playing it solo personally. So, is this game worth $60? I actually do think so. And yes, it was lowered in price, but I'm surprised they still lowered it. It is on the Game Pass, so if you see it on the Game Pass, I really highly recommend giving it a shot.